Welcome to Journeys of Empowerment. I'm Michiel Sujit-Reit. Around here, we slow down. Through honest conversations with aspiring, impact-driven female founders, we sit with the turning points, the inner shifts, the quiet recalibrations behind every chapter that's actually changing. If what used to feel like ambition is starting to feel like a little noise, and what feels like alignment is asking for more space, these stories will meet you there. Clarity isn't found alone. It begins within and moves outward, one real conversation at a time. Let's step into this. What if the loneliness you feel isn't about who's around you, but about how much of yourself you've had to leave behind? In this episode, I sat down with Blanca Vergara, founder of the CoCreation Institute, and someone who invites people to move from quiet disconnection into something far more alive and shared. We explored what it means to grow up learning that achievement earns belonging, how perfectionism can become a form of protection, and a moment where success no longer feels like enough. We spoke about the courage it takes to face that inner gap, to embrace the parts of yourself that feel different or even uncomfortable, and how real connection begins when individuality and togetherness are no longer in conflict. One sentence stood out. That thing that is so terrifying to you is exactly the door towards the happiness that you are longing for. This matters. Belonging should never come at the cost of losing yourself. Let's hear it. Welcome to Journeys of Empowerment, Blanca Vergara.
Thank you. Delighted to be here.
Did I pronounce it correctly?
My father will be proud of you.
That's a big compliment right away. Well, before we dive into who do you aspire to become? Where does your beautiful name come from?
Oh, from Spain, from the País Vasco, from the north of Spain, from the Basque country. Mm-hmm. And it comes from the name of big tall ships. Ah. And the story is that three brothers from there went to Mexico, and they distributed themselves in different parts of the country. And one of them went to the area where my father is from. And now from one... Yeah. There is a huge family of Vergaras. Mm.
So you're originally from Mexico?
I'm originally from Mexico.
And the name
City.
is originally from north of Spain.
Yes.
Beautiful. Vergara. And in Spain?
Yeah, in Spain they will say Vergara.
Vergara.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So first, looking to the future, envision the future. Who do you aspire to become?
Not so long ago, I attended the funeral of my mother-in-law, and it was one of the most beautiful things I ever experienced. It was a celebration of her life, and there was so much love. And we all walk out from there like, oh, how do I do that? I want that. This is the ultimate win for me. To build such a beautiful and delicious life full of love that the last day, in the last memory, people remember me in a way that, sometimes it's not the big things. So she wrote books and she made so much money, but she listened to me. Mm. She was there for me. Those things are very valuable for me now. Yeah, I don't aspire anymore for glory and fame and money. I have a taste of that in my life, and I see that the big top of the mountain doesn't really satisfy. But the hug, the sincerity of love and depth, that's what I aspire. And I see it, maybe for some will sound fatalistic, that I could die anytime. Maybe some Mexican thing. We have the Day of the Dead. And for me, it's the most important day ever. And I kind of carrying it very stoic, memento mori. Just remember that you'll die. Memento mori.
I get goosebumps.
And I just walk every day thinking this might be the last day. So Every day anybody leaves home, all the family goes to the door to kiss and hug because we don't know. So that's what I aspire to be one day. I am living it every moment. And it's just really exciting and vibrant. I imagine myself, I dream of being this very old lady with the long white hair in my hacienda and just remembering that life.
Wow.
Was beautiful.
Wow. I got goosebumps. I'm going to tattoo Memento Mori here and Memento Vivere here. So Memento Vivere is about dare to live. And here, well, we all die, right?
We all die.
And
another coincidence.
And for me, I got it out of the books of Ryan Holiday. He's a writer who really translated into stoicism into the now and the future, into the present time. Yeah. And I truly love the way he writes. And it was about Memento Mori. And in another book I read Memento Vivere. And I was like, dare to live.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Did you read the book of Bronnie Ware, The 5 Regrets of the Dying?
No.
Oh.
Maybe there's something for me?
Maybe there's something for you. And the other book I've read recently is Tuesdays with Maury.
Oh, yeah, that absolutely.
Oh, you have read it?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely. It's so beautiful.
Beautiful book.
I read it in the time when all my parents were dying. Around the same time, it was father-in-law, mother-in-law.
Oh, wow.
And it helped me so much, that book, to be present. And of course, you suffer as you are going through, but you need some level of hope. You need to, some light there in the future, even in those dark moments. And that book is one of those lights.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it made a deep impression. It left a deep impression, and especially, and it's also a lived experience. It's a real lived experience book. So it's based on an actual story of the author, and I loved it. Hey, so we've had of course our pre-conversation, and based on that one, we agreed on a central theme, which is helping us and hopefully the listener guide us through our conversation, and. Our central theme for our conversation is from isolation to co-creation. And now it sounds very understandable, yet before we dive into your journey, quite a journey you've made, what do you mean by isolation?
Well, isolation is something that happens mostly between your ears. You can be surrounded with many people and still feel lonely. You can be at home with father, mother, or husband and children and still feel lonely. And you can be in a big field without any other human and not feeling lonely. It is a perception. Definitely is a perception. And how you open yourself to welcome ideas, feelings, possibilities, is a journey of the ego. I am too good for the world to receive anything from you, or I'm too weak and you have to save me because I'm just totally dependent from you. And these range different levels of colors of that continuum. It is not resolved in just one chat. Oh, now I want to co-create. You find in that codependency, narcissism, lies, all kinds of levels of anxiety and systems that we have created as society that bring us to loneliness. I mean, you must have read it. The problem of loneliness is just gigantic. Between the genders, men don't trust women, women don't trust men, and with other isms that we are separated. And it is my opinion that the future will be co-created, the future that we want to see. And I really want to contribute to that, for that to happen, so that we all recover that hope, that humility to be able to ask and to receive, and also the self-esteem to be able to contribute and to say, yes, my voice is needed and I want to speak. I'm not just going to retreat into my safety, the safety of my room.
What do you believe? Do you believe in a future without co-creation?
No, definitely not. Particularly now when I see all this violence around it. I think of that phrase of Einstein. I don't know what weapons will be in the Third World War, but in the Fourth World War, there will be stones. If we really continue, then we destroyed humanity, 90% of it. The 10% that will be there will co-create. So even if we all remain as asleep as we look like we are, and we destroy ourselves just almost completely, the love, the reason, the cooperation needs to emerge. I think it's unavoidable. So, but why I am so invested, so interested in co-creation right now, because I believe that reality is like a hall of mirrors. If I'm kind to you, you will be kind to me, and the person who sees us will be kind to the neighbor, and the neighbor will be kind to his wife, and then it starts creating ripple effects. So if we start co-creating, instead of just reacting to other people who are being aggressive, it's possible to co-create. It is possible. It is possible. And then as people start, like the 1 minute bio, once the first person ran the 1 minute bio, everybody started running it. Once people see that people are starting to collaborate, to enjoy, to be together, more people are going to start doing it.
Contagious.
That's what I want to contribute to a contagious of love, of creation, of collaboration, of trust, of hope. And this, yes, indeed, it is my contribution to to end the opposite. Not by fighting the opposite, but creating a reality that is so beautiful that the other part becomes completely irrelevant.
In the book Tuesdays with Maurice, there was a beautiful thing about that caught my attention, and it was called the tension of opposites. Can you remember that? The tension of opposites.
The tensions of opposites.
There was a real tension between the tension between opposites, so the positive and the negative, and that makes me think about if you focus on the opposite of something negative, you will finally get something positive, right? Okay, so the theme is from isolation to co-creation, and it is a theme for a reason, because it travels all the way to your early childhood, all the way back, and that's the reason why it became a theme. So allow me to invite you to take a trip back in the time capsule all the way back to early childhood, and maybe share where it all began in Mexico, and how it became the central theme of our conversation of today.
Like I was talking about the hall of mirrors, how things replicate, mirroring each other. Now I can see that this loneliness was pervasive in every single person in my family, in both families, the mother side, the father side. Everybody there was no community of co-creation. It was a series of individuals. My parents lost their parents relatively early in their lives. That made them feel each very lonely. My mother had her mom a little bit more time than my dad, but my dad lost his parents when he was 3.
Oh, no.
So he was really longing for family, really longing for a mother. And both of them were longing for success. And they really concentrated, when they joined forces, they got married, they were joining forces towards betterment. And what was betterment? Better house, more money. And maybe for him, he was longing for a family, for a mother. She was older than him. And all this was a lot of loneliness and fighting, this achievement, perfectionism and cleaning and doing. And that led them to have disagreements. So they will fight often how the things should be. And
a lot of disagreements.
A lot of disagreements. And what was my solution towards that? Get myself in the cupboard.
Hiding.
They will argue. And instead of me going to join the club of the argument, I will hide. And now I see that this was my mechanism of survival, my survival mechanism. And I kept doing that for a long time. I went to the cupboard to get a book. So what happened to that little girl is that the book saved her, the loneliness saved her. So let's read and read and read and read. So grades at school, great. When I got into corporate, great. I knew this, I knew that. I would do the work. And it was just taking action. So get promoted, do what it was expected from me to do. Because then to survive the home where I was brought up, I needed to read very well what was needed. And I got really good at it. Doing that, of course, that knowledge, I applied it at school. Great grades, prizes. At work, promotions, more responsibility. It was, success.
On paper. For the outside world.
When my mother passed, 2019, I went to Mexico to clean the house, and I found, where the paper where you have your grades. And my photo. My God, and to see that child, such a sad child.
Could you see the sadness on that picture?
You could see that sadness on that child. I think I just had cried before the photo was taken. And that piece of paper is just so... What are we doing with ourselves, people, all of us, that we're going for the best grade, the most money, the best car, the thin waist, whatever you are putting as your goal. You are alienating everybody in your life. You are not happy with the thing that is the goal.
What is then the underlying driving force which results in that type of behavior? What do you believe that's underneath?
I think there is not a one answer to that. For you.
What do you believe for you it was?
I think it's complex. I think we want to survive. The first thing as child, you want to survive. And you see how reality is behaving, and you see how can I survive? What is safe in this context? What is safe? Am I antagonizing mom, or I should please mom? And when you go and please, you end up not listening to your own authority.
It comes with a cost.
You survive, but you learn that if you actually put your foot down and say what you want, you will get punished. So then you please, then you adapt, then you do what the society is telling you to do. You lie. One of my favorite ones was one of the first exams that I had. It made a big impression on me. My parents were of the opinion that I should brush my teeth 4 times a day. When I woke up and 1 after each meal. And I did that, that's fine. So then school, and they ask us, how many times do you brush your teeth daily? And I put 4. And then it comes the results, and they put, that's not good.
Who said
teacher.
that? The teacher said.
The teacher said that's not good. And I was just like flabbergasted. I mean, did she see me that I don't actually do that? Did she actually have cameras in my house just checking that I don't do it? But I do it. I'm a good person. I do what Papa and Mama say. And the teacher started explaining that we should have said 3, 1 after each meal. Oh, now I get it. You are grading me to answer how many times does the teacher expect me to brush my teeth? Not how many times I actually brush my teeth. So this for me is a societal message that I learned very little, from very young age, that the correct answer is not the truth, but is what the system is wanting you to answer. And that's the reason why we all lie. And that's the reason why we remain alone. This is part of the source of loneliness, survival. I think that is what comes to mind. That's underneath our social anxiety, underneath trauma, this desire to survive as a child. And it gets combined with many other things, of course.
How was it for you? Combined with what for you?
Let me think. First it was survival, and then it was, of course, the joy of being accepted and belonging. Oh, you got a 10. Oh, yeah, ooh, fantastic. Oh, you got a promotion. Oh, yeah, fantastic. So you are reinforced to continue not listening to yourself. And that's very interesting. As you read before, or you were talking about me, I love astrology. I'm an Aquarius in like 2,000 times. Like lots of planets and things are in Aquarius. So I am a very eccentric person. And how can I be eccentric if I need to belong? How can I be eccentric if I need to answer that I brush my teeth 4 times a day?
What for you would be
3 times a day?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
I have to tell them 3 times a day.
You have to meet the obligation and conform, right? Yeah, conform.
So this dichotomy of conforming and being my rebel eccentric self has been the
opposite of tensions,
the
right?
tension that I have lived up my life.
What do you mean by eccentric? Before we
oh, this is so cool. When I was working in Pricewaterhouse in Mexico, that's just so many years ago, 30 years ago, there was a dress code. You needed to wear dark clothes, a full suit. Women need to wear a skirt, full suit, and high heels. And I was very obliging. I was wearing that every day, day in, day out, my pearl necklace, my hair pulled back, very, very professional. But in the afternoon, I was a hippie. And I have a major of IT, but I love art and I love poetry. And in the afternoon, I will go to the art movie theater. And with my sandals and my hippie clothes and my feather in my earrings. And I was there in the movie theater waiting for my movie to start. And guess what happened? My Pricewaterhouse client arrived.
No!
So dressed like that.
How did that work out? How did that?
Awesome.
Yeah?
Pricewaterhouse has the ethical boundary that you're not supposed to be friends with the clients.
Mm-hmm.
I left Pricewaterhouse. That man is still my friend.
Beautiful.
And with him, because he's also very eccentric, he was working for IBM. IBM also had a dress code, navy blue, and he was into hard rock. So he was with his hard rock rings, and he let his hair grow. And I found that really interesting because it's when you start becoming authentic in your eccentric self, whatever it is that you read these kind of books, or you listen this kind of music, or you wear this kind of shoes, you will attract people who do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or you will attract, more specifically, you will attract people who do that is not that wear the same things that you do or read the same books, but who dare to be their eccentric, authentic self. And this is really exciting because then you start daring to express more what you think about. And when you really are honest and you tell me, Blanca, that point that you said that whatever, I actually disagree. I think it should be like this. And then you expand me. Mm-hmm. In my framework of work, one of the things that I see is the consensus system is one of the things that prevents co-creation. And it is one of the things that many people will think that is a good thing. Oh, we agree, we're so nice, so then we will create. It doesn't work like that. There must be a creative tension. The best way I like to talk about it is like dancing tango. Mm-hmm. You pull yourself a little bit this side and that side, and then there is the dance. Imagine that, I do everything you want. It's an absolute disaster. And this, I do everything you want. Is the danger of the belonging. If I really want to belong, then I do everything that the group wants. And then the creation doesn't happen. It just creates echo. It's just repetition. And it's very dangerous. There is no critical thinking there.
We have that enough echoing in the world, right?
Yeah. So we need that. We need that tango tension, that creative dancing together with life, this struggling with things. I think this is the reason why I am so happy with my husband for so many years, because that's what we do. Mm. It's not immediately that I disagree with you, but I really see different what we are seeing together. We see the same phenomenon, but I see it differently.
I've once heard a podcast, I believe from Jay Shetty, and he said, in his podcast, he had an interview with someone, I can't recall with who, and it was centered around having healthy conflict. And so in a relationship, one of the highest forms of a relationship is being able to have a healthy conflict in which you can allow each other to disagree, and also having and holding an opinion, yet staying open-minded towards each other, and figuring a way out forward to meet each other, and but also to maybe have your own opinion. And it's good anyway, right?
Yeah.
Hey, but before we so growing up and very focused on achievement and very focused on becoming better and better and better. where and how, what did help you to, well, become aware about that? Because before that, if you're growing up and you see that it works, 10 and a 10 and a 10, it reinforces also something in us, right?
Absolutely.
Nobody wants a 5 if you can score a 10 and you were 10, 10, 10 in a row. So if you travel in that journey, how did you figure that out? Hey, this is not making me happy.
Yeah. You know, the problems at home were strong. My parents got divorced, and I really didn't want to end up like my mother. My mother was, the traditional family in that sense that my father was the financial support and my mother was the home front. So that left my mother financially devastated when they separated. And I put it in my mind, that's not happening to me. I have to be financially sound first, and then I'll figure out who I will be with. So I prioritized career. And that led me to study an MBA in the Netherlands. So I left Mexico and I came here. And God, Mexico is way more community-driven. Mm-hmm. The Netherlands is way more individualistic. So if I was already individualistic, the culture made me even more individualistic.
It reinforces. Yeah.
It was such a reinforcement. And I finished MBA. We set up a consulting firm with 2 professors. Then I worked for the European Space Agency. And, the money comes in and, what can you buy? Champagne and another dress and another trip and another trip and another dress. And it was really like a black hole of buying things. What can you buy? You can buy another thing and another thing and another thing. And there was never enough. And what was happening in my life was I was becoming an alcoholic. I was drinking so heavily in the weekends, sometimes during the week. And intimate relationships, don't talk about it. At that time, my parents were alive, and I didn't have a relationship with them. A good boyfriend or a good friend, really, that didn't exist. And still, it was like I'm fine.
Of course.
I'm fine. This is what I was in that world of that I see now of many women today that I had enough money not to need a husband. Mm-hmm. No man was good enough for me. And that's funny enough because I am petite. Almost everybody will be taller than me. But they were not intelligent or not funny or not wealthy enough. Nobody was good enough for me. So I was going into that world that will just stay there forever until I will have died alone and with a big bank account and, destroyed liver. Mm. It was terrible. I was having my period about twice a year. The white of my eyes was yellow. I think I was about to have a heart attack or running towards cancer. It's absolutely disastrous. Not a plant in my house, not a cat. It's really emptiness and a very dry spiritual life at that point.
And isolation, right?
Isolation, but this is very interesting. I was surrounded by people and I was going to parties. And we were drinking and traveling. Deep conversations, meaningful conversations. No, that really was not my life at that point. And it was thanks to a friend that invited me to a workshop, and I really went because she brought me. I did not have any consciousness of myself that there was anything wrong with me.
Really?
There was nothing that I will think that anything was wrong with me.
So there wasn't an intuitive something nagging already?
There was yes, for sure.
All right.
There was, I was in a relationship with a man at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and there was tension.
Mm-hmm.
And I was feeling that if I don't stay with this man, it's my last train. He was divorced and he had 2 children. And I was deciding to stay with him and never have children of my own. Because that was the deal. If I stayed with him, he didn't want to have children with me. And a friend of mine told me, get out of that relationship. What are you doing? That's not a deal. Yeah, but I love him, and maybe I didn't say it explicitly. No, I'm too old. Nobody will love me. I'm too late to have children, and so this is the last one. Nobody will ever love me. That's where I was.
Limiting self-belief.
Totally. So then she basically took me to that workshop, and I was just accompany me, just come. And I went, and the 2 questions that did it is what you were sharing, and that I was asked, what do you like to do? What are things that bring you joy and make you feel, electric and enthusiastic, and you will do all the time? I start writing the beautiful things.
What were your answers? What were your answers?
Art, definitely art. Painting, seeing paintings, cooking, beautiful things. Everything was about beauty. Public speaking. I love public speaking. Reading poetry, all that kind of thing. And I was working for the fantastic European Space Agency. That was science. There is nothing wrong with science, but, it's not the fit. And the second question that was the killer. Last week, what was the percentage of your time that you did any of those activities?
That last week part.
This is really fundamental, because you ask yourself, well, how much do you do that? Yeah, when? Last week. Last week.
Specifically.
So very, very specific. And for me, it was 2%. And I just collapsed in that moment. I burst in tears. That moment was so strong.
So to make clear for the listener, of all the things you love to do, you've written a list about creation, about, art, about making art, public speaking, and only in the last week, looking back, your answer was 2%. That realization in and on itself.
Yes. So huge. It's huge.
I can imagine.
My body was completely, I guess I got a DNA update on that very moment. Everything was moving, and the blood was circulating. I had rashes on my face. I was, besides the crying, because of course I cried as well. And I told the coach trainer, I hate my relationship and I hate my job. That was the first time that I was able to articulate it. And I'm very grateful to that coach. I'm very grateful to my friend. And I tell this story often because many people like me were in gigantic denial. I'm fine. There is nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. And we can go our life just being fine. And
why do we do that? And why did you do that?
We do it because the system keeps reinforcing us that you're fine. You're fine. You get a promotion, didn't you? You got a new car. Why are you complaining about? So we are reinforced to be living in our head. We are reinforced to assess how good we are by how much money we have in our bank account. But we don't look at the things that matter. And what matters is that feeling, your very first question, where are you going? What is that vision of the future that pulls you?
Yeah.
And how much are you embodying that vision of the future at this present moment?
Okay, then let me ask one question. Let me jump in.
Sure.
Of the things you've written down then, which one is the most important for you?
I didn't put it at that time because that I didn't dare to even put it, but I really wanted to have children. And now I'm the happiest mother in the world. I'm so happy. Now they are teenagers, 13 and 15. And many people say that having teenagers is the worst that can happen because they become opinionated and they become
mirrors of your own soul.
I love what I see. I love what I see. My daughter is the one that is more like me. And sometimes she quote unquote misbehaves. The way she misbehaves makes me so happy. It's expansive. It's not me, but it's the expanded version of me. She inspires me. It's just so exciting. I love to see my son that is so, is the same thing, but with my husband. The second version of my husband, but expanded, and not him. I didn't write to be a mother at that point. I didn't have that level of awareness, but this is the thing that makes me so happy.
What do you learn the most from your children?
Oh my God. I think daring to be that eccentric self that I am, daring to do things that are unpopular, daring, especially for my daughter, daring. Yeah. She started just really learning to use the skateboard. There is no girl in her class who does that. There is no girl in the neighborhood who does that. She goes out every day to play with her skateboard. Every day she can do something more. There is a girl that she has kind of misunderstandings, and the other one really wants to control everybody. And my daughter has said no to her several times. No. Not pleasing. No. No explanation. No. So I find her really inspiring. Really inspiring. It's like the reloaded version of me. Beautiful. It's really exciting. Really exciting.
Let's circle back to that workshop.
Yeah.
And then in that workshop, there were a few things you've written down. Yeah.
The one that was in the list, and what I wrote is I wanted to paint, and I wanted to be an architect when I was little. So reality is that I'm very good at beautiful things and systematic things. The two things I do. That's why I studied IT. So I wanted to be an architect, and I'm not an architect. Haven't become an architect, but at that point I gave myself permission to do beautiful things. So now I have painted so many paintings. Now my house, your house, is full of my art. Is every painting that there is there, I made it. And I have ones that are like 2.5 meters tall. I used to just go to galleries and museums. I have been in about every single important museum in the world, and I just stopped doing that now. Instead of being the frustrated artist and seeing what others are doing, I have been painting in the past 18 years now.
And in the last week?
In the last week.
How much percentage are you now doing what you love the most?
Yeah, I guess I have been changing hobbies. You know what I have been doing? I have been developing a framework of leveling up my happiness. Putting experiences that I would like to have, hobbies that I would like to incorporate as new. And I brought my family to the party. So I asked them 4 questions. Let me see if I remember. Is things that you would like to learn from the other members of the family, things that you would like to teach to the other members of the family, things that you would like to experience in the next month, in the next quarter, and I don't remember the other one, but everything was related to joy. Not to, and it was very interesting, the answers, Some of the things that the children wanted to learn from me is how to sew.
Oh.
And they found, I was shocked that that was fun. So that's really exciting. We don't need to just bungee jump or travel to, Japan to be happy and to be together. It could be something so simple as the sewing.
What for you? That's let's dive into that one. You've mentioned a few times happiness, and I can imagine that has been a journey for you to discover what for you is happiness. Because if you achieve 10s in a row and a quite accomplished career, then you are sort of striving for a sort of happiness which isn't happiness. So how did you figure that out? What happiness actually it means for you?
Okay, so maybe I go back to the story. So I go back to the story when I said I hate my relationship and I hate my job. Mm. So that's very important. When you say what you don't want, the universe starts rearranging itself for you. My boyfriend split with me like the following week. It was just like that. And then I was in the list of being downsized, I don't know, like 1 or 2 months afterwards. It was...
What do you mean by downsized? Downsized in the company?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So it was great. I didn't need to quit. They just said, we see you gone. I was actually very happy.
Relieved.
I was delighted. Thank you very much. I'm very, very grateful, they're lovely people, but it was not a fit. No. And then I entered into the world. It was more or less at the same time when I left that job, started learning coaching and met my husband. And then I started learning coaching and learning how to set up a business and learning how to have a relationship that was different. And of course, I was terrified because my parents ended up in divorce, and at that point, I couldn't have any relationship. I was very good at destroying relationships. And there was a day when he went for drinks to another city, and I was waiting for him. And he calls me. He says, "I'm going." Oh, okay. I knew that he was going to see his friends. He was by car. But he called me, he sounded sober, and he was coming back. And I sat down waiting for him, and he was not coming half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours. And I started panicking. And all my fear of abandonment got really deep. Maybe he's a liar and he's with another woman. Maybe he actually doesn't love me anymore. Maybe he had a car accident and he died. And I got in all the scenarios, and I tried to see all the scenarios as the worst scenario possible. And the worst scenario for me was that he died. And I got in that scenario. I tell his parents, we go pick up the body and we bury him, and I cry for him for 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, but I can deal with it. In 10 years, maybe. I can deal with it. That was so big for me. This idea that I get myself into this relationship with all the possibility that he will break my heart. He could break my heart by dying. But I get myself into that relationship in this risk of life because no matter how bad it could go, I can deal with it. Mm. So then I can be happy. I can risk doing the thing that sounds so dangerous, being in the risk of being abandoned, because I actually can deal with it. And I think this was my recipe for happiness. This is my answer to the question of happiness. We don't get into happiness because of the fear of the unwanted. But when we get into the worst case scenario of that unhappiness of the thing that we're afraid of, then we find the courage. It's we go back to the Stoics. It's like the obstacle is the way.
Yes, beautiful book.
Yeah. The obstacle is the way, and that thing that is so terrifying to you is exactly what is the door towards the happiness that you are longing for. So this loneliness, I want to be safe, brings you to to death, actually to destruction, and to go into the world of daring to be wrong, daring to be abandoned, daring to be taken for granted, daring to opens the door for the things that you are actually wanting to have.
How easy does it come for you right now to really believe and have internalized what you just said? Because that's a whole journey, right?
It is a whole journey. It is a whole journey. Well, for now, for me right now, this is super easy because I have been working on that for 18 years. After I left corporate, I started coaching people. And when you coach people, you healed. In these 18 years, so much has happened. It has been all the coaching people, coaching hundreds of people with their own situations and their own anxieties, their own challenges. It was the time when I lost the 4 parents. It was the time when I had the children. It was so transformed, not just about reading the books about coaching and life. It was about embodying it. And every time that something happened to me, like what I said at the beginning of the conversation, the funeral of my mother-in-law, that brings you to another level. And that is painful at that point, but then afterwards you are recharged, you are renewed, you are, there's I think it's anthroposophy.
Yeah.
When you get ill, afterwards you get better.
I still struggle myself personally with with trying to believe that it's between healing is a work in progress the rest of your life or being healed. What do you believe more in? In healing is a process and then work in progress of life? Or do you believe there's an end stage of healing?
No, I don't believe that there is an end stage of healing. I don't believe that at all. And I believe that it's the way I paint is layer after layer and layer after layer. I have more trauma than the ones that we have talked about in this interview. Every single pain that I have experienced in my life has added another dimension that has made me more human, more compassionate, more humble, and more powerful. So you don't see it in the moment when it's happening. You don't see it. It is with time that you get the perspective. So if we fall in love, if we get rid of, we release for a moment the idea that trauma is a bad thing and we have to get rid of it, and we entertain the idea that maybe it's a blessing, and maybe it is the thing that will transform somehow, and you don't know when, it's mysterious, into your superpower, into the gift that you are going to here to bring to humanity. And don't think too much about it. Just keep walking, and then you are going to start attracting the people who you are meant to heal and really be in the surroundings of, because you have that potion that they need, that they resonate towards. And the beauty of this is that then you start healing yourself. And even, it's not about healing. It is about falling in love with reality. Falling in love with who you are. Not in a remembrance of who you were, but in remembrance of what you are becoming. Is like a journey. You don't stop being this beautiful soul that you are, but you are a different human representation of that. Mm. So we do not negate our core identity, and we do not negate what has happened all these years. And what happened just right now, that I didn't have patience with a person who was very mean with me in the highway.
And there's no space between stimulus and response anymore left, and you are really in high alert and reacting and responding and attacking.
I think the biggest tool there is to be delusionally compassionate with yourself. Oh, I behaved out of trauma again. I forgive myself. I start again. How can I be loved right now? Okay. I start again. I forgive myself. I start again. Can I find better words for asking my daughter to pick up her shoes? Can I start again? Can I negotiate this time for what I really want? Let's breathe and let's start again. Can I, reply to that email that I'm terrified of replying? Can I say no? And it's just a constant becoming, a constant remembering. And I really like the metaphor of art, another layer of paint, another layer of paint.
I would love to return to the art and the layers. And so thank you for that. Because of all the layers you've mentioned, which of the layers was and still is most challenging for you? So you've mentioned quite some layers.
I think one of the things that really drives me crazy is when people don't take responsibility. Mm-hmm. When people want somebody to save them. When they put me in the position that I should save them. That drives me crazy. It really drives me crazy. And I just breathe, exhale, take time, and remember that everybody is in their own spiritual journey. And sometimes I really go into I may be better helper if I don't help. And just really pray that they will be safe even if I don't help. And this is hard. I have different characters in my family who have been very codependent situations. And I have been working with that. And I'm just so excited to tell you that there are things that are running right now, so I don't want to talk about that specifically. But that these family members are picking themselves up and doing and taking action. And this leads me to say, okay, you're picking yourself up, gladly, I help you more. I think it's a Muslim saying that if you take the first step, God will take 1,000 steps towards you, something like that. And that's for me very important. I used to help people indiscriminately, and I will see how they will do nothing. And they will just perpetuate themselves in the victimhood. And that will really make me really angry. That will make me furious.
And do you have to answer on the question, why does it make you so angry?
My mother was like that.
Circle it around.
My mother was like that. And it just drove me crazy. This, I cannot do it, and I cannot do it. Of course you can do it. And I got her to be more self-assured to a certain extent, but I was her daughter, so you cannot influence your own mother to that level. And I think I have to be very grateful to her, because this is what has helped me tremendously for my coaching practice.
To become
for
you,
my
you.
life.
Yes.
Yeah. Because this is very important, you know. This is something that I learned here in the Netherlands. In Mexico, you have very, very clear the haves and the have-nots. So you have people who carry your bags, who pack your bags, who wash your car, who cleans your toilet. And in the Netherlands, that was, at least when I came here, it was almost non-existent. Now I started to see it. But in the past, you went to the supermarket, you pack your bags, you clean your things. It was the personal responsibility to the extreme. And I think that is a very valuable gift that the Netherlands gives, this individualism gives, that you become personal responsible. And this is a very interesting nuance with my work of co-creation, because to be part of the team doesn't mean that you have to let go of your personal responsibility. To co-create doesn't mean that you completely let go of carrying your own load. You have to do both things. Is a nuance and is a paradox, but I see it as indispensable.
How easy does it come for people to understand what you just mentioned?
Yeah, I think people are getting it more and more. I see like an awakening of consciousness in general. I think people are getting more and more conscious everywhere. People are starting to get nuances of so many things. Yes, I do see. I do have a lot of hope on humanity. Yeah, I do see it. Yeah.
Hey, and if we look at our central theme, we discovered a lot about the isolation part, and we're traveling towards the co-creation. What helped you the most on your journey to make that transition? So there was an awakening moment for you, and the two profound questions. So the first one, you write down and you think about what you really love to do. And then the second part is, what did you do last week about one of the... So that was a really eye-opener. But yeah, a aha moment doesn't necessarily lead to, all right, make it tangible and come to the point where you are right now. What helps you the most?
Sure.
In your path to co-creation.
My path to co-creation. What was the aha moment? This transition didn't happen like that. I didn't have a moment or maybe, I don't know. I've been running for 18 years a coaching practice for individuals, specifically for women. And we've been working on these very feminine things, you know, this ability to ask for what you want, to say no, to open yourself to love, open yourself to be more feminine, to be in your feminine energy. And this business started to dwindle. And it started to dwindle because the thing that was in the background was the gender war. And I started to get more frustrated by the gender war. And I couldn't just continue helping just women. I see that the future of humanity needs all of us. All of us. And this co-creation started coming out when I started working with astrology. Because as I said before, I am an Aquarius, like 5 times Sun, Moon, Venus, everything is in Aquarius. This is the dichotomy of the individual eccentric and the power of community. How does that work?
Good question.
How could that work? The individual in community and being eccentric. And then I've been journaling and remembering, when I was working in corporate, what did I have? I was creating systems for people to co-create, to collaborate, processes that would flow better. And then during these 18 years, I've been painting, I've been working with women to be their best self. And then something started emerging. I am the person who builds systems for people to co-create. And I had been doing it for a long time. Even if the CoCreation Institute was not yet born, I personally have been doing it all the time. And then that's when I started, this is not change, this is an integration, a synthesis, an evolution.
As life is.
Yeah, from the first stage that was very dry and corporate price warehouse processes and inputs, and to the very spiritual work, feminine, divine feminine thing. Oh, this needs to get together. And together, mainly because of that vision of the future that I have. That the only way possible for us is a co-created future. The time of pyramids in which the lone wolf tells us what we need to do, we humble followers, is gone. The future is networks. We need to learn how to be our own node in the network and cooperate with all the others who are their own beautiful self, their own node in the network. And we need to be able to do it within corporations, in small teams of new ventures, as solo entrepreneurs. We need to cooperate and co-create together. I see it as unavoidable. And yes, it's a big trend, but it feels something really deep in my heart.
I can feel it. I can feel it. And you've mentioned also in our conversation that you are writing a book.
Yes.
The Co-Creation Shift.
Yeah.
What can you share already a little bit about that? Sneak peek.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
What makes you excited about it? Writing in on itself isn't fun.
It could be.
Surprise me.
I think I've been thinking a lot about writing what's my philosophy, what is what I see of life. And I feel that this is my moment to do that, to put it really in writing. I see 2 dimensions, the Mexico and the Netherlands. We are all a group, the group orientation and the individualistic. The individualistic takes to the world of the lone wolf, centralized systems, me, myself, or the highway. Mexico, community, let's go all together to the party, but where are we going? Well, we don't know. We will all decide. The royal we don't know who we is we, then doesn't take us anywhere. And the third scenario is that we work really hard. Everybody is doing something, but we're not coordinating what we're doing. These 3 things are the 3 legs that can be transformed in exactly the opposite. What if we stopped being centralized, but we started being distributed? What if we stopped giving away all our power to the community, but started contributing a little bit, this tension that I was talking about? What if we just work something, but we started creating architectures, even flexible architectures? So these are the three legs of the system that will transform into the co-creation system. So these three frameworks, these three areas, is how I see where we get lost. And if we are able to see that in our systems, but maybe let me get a step back. Why do I talk so much about systems?
You tell me.
I've been thinking, it's not just the Aquarian thing, because Aquarius system. I've been talking a lot about the person and empowerment, and you decide, and the trauma. But in reality, what we are doing is we're creating structures around us with our behavior. I think of this old story, I think it's a story of the man who wanted to have very good relationships, and to have very good relationships, he needed stories. So where do you find the stories? Oh, in books. So he started reading books, more books, more books, more books, and kept reading books. And never got into relationships because he was reading books. So we have intentions that we want X, but we take actions, we build habits, we build structures that give us other results. So what, instead of saying there is something wrong with this man, we say, hey, what if you could have other structures, systems, habits? And I see that the three things that we could change is how we think, how we communicate, and how we co-create what we do. So with these three things is how I see, it's just very similar to it. It's very spiritual, actually. That is the, oh goodness, I forgot the word now, is agape. It is to think, to speak, and to do in harmony.
Gandhi also says that. They're so beautiful. Yeah. When this is aligned, and it's also you are also on the most authentic journey.
Yes.
When everything is aligned with each other, what you see, what you think, what you do.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So what you think is this self dimension, that if you are just in fear of others, you are in stress, what you do? You control. And that is the birth of the centralized system.
You try to control. You're never in control.
Absolutely.
We are never in control.
We have the fallacy of control.
Trying to control. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. The next one is, if you are in this feeling thing and you do it in the shadow way, you end up pleasing with a big smile. Yes. Consensus, yes. We cooperate, yes. And what do you create? An echo.
Not the result you desire.
So what you need is that tension and that creation of maybe no, maybe yes, and that tension. And the third one is the action. You can be trying to control or trying to please, but if it is not a concert of action, then nothing happens. So these are the three legs of the book, with the light and shadow side, and with solutions of how you can do that, how you can create a loop of trust, that people do this consistently.
Allow me to be me. Is it about solutions or suggestions?
For sure. You could argue they are possibilities.
Beautiful.
They are possibilities. Because It has to be, I totally believe in the idea of the ripple.
Yes.
You do something, and this will generate an impact in somebody else, but it will not be the pebble that you drop. It will be what's the effect of the wave. So you have intentions and you take action, but you don't know what's going to happen next.
You're building your coaching tree. Are you familiar with the coaching tree?
Yeah.
I love that whole concept. And I thought like, wow, you're building your coaching tree. I've started to ask myself, I'm reading a lot of books, and I'm starting to ask myself the question, and now it's the central theme before I start reading the book. And afterwards I have to answer that question, and now I'm curious about your book. So my question to myself is, what will I approach differently after reading this book? Now here it comes. What do you love people will approach differently after reading your book?
Oh, I love that question. I think this teamwork thing has been, this co-creation thing has been a lot of, it is the leader, or it's the leader who's responsible of everything. And if he gets coached, everything will be fine. Or we have to get some consultants to get the process right because they will fix us. And that I have experienced it. That is very limited. And it's very, I really like what you say. It's not solution. I call them loops. It's about tiny little practices repeated. Tiny little practices repeated.
And iterations and adjustments, small
iterations,
adjustments.
Minor adjustments.
Learning loops
of possibility. And to think that you are going to change the way you lead forever or the way your team is operating forever, it's a fallacy. If you see it more as art, as being, as doing today the best day that you can do, and there is much more joy in the process, there is more possibility, and when you approach co-creation with the intention of joy, the results and the process are completely different. So the approach that I would love people to get from my book is not, hey, did you read this book and you applied this recipe like if it was a cookbook? You can release that idea. Is more like an invitation towards dancing, dancing with life, dancing with the moment, dancing with what you have in front of you, who you have the possibility to co-create with your client, with your employees, with your husband, with your neighbor.
With life.
With time, with, So if we see it that way, it's just like a gigantic dance, like a gigantic painting. You make your life a piece of art. So art is behind this. And it's the practice. Not thinking, oh, I'm creating something beautiful, and if this is not beautiful, then I'm lost. No, just do it as experiment. Invited to experiment.
I would love to invite you when we are, since we are heading towards our end of our conversation, I would love to invite you afterwards to come downstairs, and I will show you an artwork. And I'm really curious if it resonates and what it does for you, if you see that artwork. So I'm really curious. But circling back to our conversation, I have one last question. The 10-year-old, with looking at where your grades were on, with all tens, and with a sad face on that form, what would you love to whisper with all the lived experience of now? What would you love to whisper in? Well, maybe you were 10, maybe you were 12, whatever. But what would you love to whisper in her ears? With all the knowledge and lived experience you went through, what would you love to whisper in her ears?
Oh, hope and love. To tell her definitely that I love her. And that it will get better, much better than she can ever imagine. That she will travel, that she will love, that she will be loved, that she will have so much fun, that she will have so much friends, that life is going to be so amazing. And maybe if she could, at that moment, if there was a possibility, she could enjoy that very moment at that time. I will invite her to have more often the eyes open for joy, the heart open for joy.
And the soul.
Yeah, definitely.
Blanca, thank you very much for our conversation.
You're welcome. A pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Is something in this conversation met you in a quiet place, a sentence, a silence, a moment of recognition? That's not coincidence. These stories carry ripples. Pass this episode on to someone whose chapter feels like it's turning. Follow Journeys of Empowerment so the next conversation finds you when it's meant to. And if the pull toward more clarity, direction and alignment is starting to feel less like an idea and more like a calling, there's a quiet space called the Clarity Intensified track. An open door for when the timing is yours. Until next time, keep going, keep becoming you.